It's been a bumpy few weeks for Canada's biggest engineering company. SNC-Lavalin is under scrutiny because of its alleged ties to former Libyan dictator Muammar Gaddafi and his family. One consultant to the company was arrested in Mexico. Under suspicion, she tried to smuggle Gaddafi's son out of Libya. SNC has denied any connection to the plot, but the firm recently dismissed two other execs linked to the Gaddafi family. SNC had business in Libya that was worth about $1 billion. The events have already sparked a backlash against operations. SNC is involved in a proposal to build a $300 million airport in Will County near Chicago. After hearing about the allegations about the company, community officials are trying to stop the project. Cory is a Will County board member. Thanks for being with us.
Amanda and Kevin, thanks for having me.
Well, so let's start with what exactly is going on here. What stage is this project, the Will County project that SNC is involved in?
Sure. Well, right now we have a member of Congress, Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr., under investigation by the U.S. House Ethics Committee, who continues to push a plan to build an airport in Will County. Cook County, a Chicago congressman, pushing a plan to build an airport in Will County that even state of Illinois officials say is not legal. The Illinois Attorney General and the Illinois Department of Transportation have both said it doesn't comply with Illinois law. It's something our county has been fighting for a long time. Not the prospect of building an airport. I think that airport and that project, that can stand on its own. What we've been opposed to is having a member of Chicago's political organization proposing to build an airport in our backyard. That alone isn't bad enough. But now that we know that the congressman's financial partner in the project has ties to a terrorist organization in Libya, you would think this would be enough now to remove that plan, take it off the table, and to move forward with Will County's plan.
It sounds like there's some good old-fashioned Chicago politics going on here. There's really two paths in listening to you describe your situation. You didn't want the airport in the first place coming from the Chicago initiative, and now you found the extra bullet, perhaps, that SNC-Lavalin has a connection or alleged connection to the Gaddafi regime. Now, let's remember, Gaddafi is in the ground. This guy's dead. So, I mean, which one is it that you're hoping is going to stop this airport? The Gaddafi thing or the fact you don't want it anyways?
Well, we should be clear. We're not trying to stop the airport. We're trying to stop Congressman Jackson's plan to build an airport that is not responsible or even underneath even a legal means to do so. In talking to your producer before the show, she'd encouraged me to try to stay out of the politics and focus on the business side of this. But unfortunately, Congressman Jackson, the governor of Illinois, and even the chief executive officer of our county have made this about politics. This is about their partisan politics and sticking together so they can have a Democratic-controlled airport. I've never looked at that. This isn't about a Democrat airport, a Republican airport, or anything in the middle. This is about one of the largest public works projects and economic development opportunities our county has ever seen. And to have it built underneath this cloud is inappropriate and certainly isn't going to help it succeed, especially with an organization that has these documented ties to a terrorist organization. When we're talking about a project and certainly a facility that has to have the utmost of security.
I guess I would say I'd encourage you to talk about the politics, because it seems to me that this really is politics. This was a project that, as you note, was controversial before any of this SSC stuff came to light. So it seems a little bit as though this contracting engineering firm is being drawn into a fight that it really has nothing to do with. It's just building the thing. To say that it has ties to a terrorist organization is a little strong, in that your country and mine gave the diplomatic nod to Libya. It was only very recently, thanks to the Libyan people, that we've all changed our tune. This company, this engineering firm, kind of had to go along with the flow and get out of there. But for many, many years, we all did business there. Many fine, reputable organizations did business in Libya. So to now say you're tainted just by doing it seems a little bit rich.
Well, we're not talking about whether a country or a corporation does business in Libya. We're not talking about that. Some of the world's largest corporations do business in Libya. Yeah. There's a lot of oil there. There's a lot of business opportunities in there, and that's the reality of the world. What we're talking about is one corporation that got caught with a very specific plan to hire a consultant for $100,000 to put together a plan and try to execute a plan to smuggle a terrorist out of Libya and into Mexico. And as a result, someone is sitting in a Mexican prison right now.
You're talking about Gaddafi's son here.
Correct. We're talking about Muammar Gaddafi's son. And right now there's someone sitting in a Mexican prison, and there's two very high-level executives at SNC-Lavalin who have been fired or eliminated from their positions.
Let me ask a question a different way.
Sure.
Let me ask a question a different way. Let's say that we took this engineering firm out of the equation and we found another one that has no ties to any terrorists, alleged ties. Would you be okay to build the airport then? It sounds like the answer is no, correct?
No, it's not about the airport, not at all, not whatsoever. This is not about whether an airport comes to Will County. And for that matter, this airport has been discussed since President Kennedy was in office. You know, this is, and it has been, by the way, this is a long-standing issue in the county. This has many decades and decades of history. It's not about whether an airport gets here. It's about whether an airport is built here and it's done without a cloud over it, it's done without the backdrop of Chicago politics, and it's done appropriately. And it's done where it can benefit the residents of Will County, and the residents of Will County aren't left holding the tab to build this, unlike Congressman Jackson's plan, which would do that.
But you can see, I mean, you can forgive us for, I mean, you can see that it does seem a little bit as though SNC is being made a scapegoat here in order to stop construction. It's the quickest route to it in order to kind of force a regroup and a rethink of how this happens.
No, there's no one trying to stop the airport. That isn't the issue. I think that SNC's involvement with Muammar Gaddafi's son shed some light on the ethics of that organization, but more so, it shows the motivations behind Congressman Jackson. I mean, he even recently said that he still has full faith in this company. I've called on Congressman Jackson and Governor Quinn to remove SNC from the equation, but more importantly, even for Governor Quinn to remove Congressman Jackson from this equation. I've asked our local leaders to support us in that measure too. And even our own county executive won't take that step to ask Jackson to be removed from this process.
I want to just ask you one,
too gray of a cloud over
one quick last question that just goes to kind of the tone, you know, post-recession. Does any of this have to do with the fact that this is a Canadian company? Would you prefer an American company to have this contract?
It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with whether this is a Canadian company. What it has to do is about finding a qualified company that has the ethics to participate in a project of this magnitude. There are plenty of good companies that could participate in this, plenty with a lot of capital and experience. They could be a public-private partner in the development of a regional airport in the Chicagoland area. There's a lot of those organizations, whether they be Canadian or American.
All right. Cory, we appreciate your time today.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Cory Singer, a Will County Board member. Time now to zip around the globe for our World Wrap.